What in the world happened here? And make sure you guys smash the and crap out of those Harpy Lost Arts so you guys don't miss out on more content. So I checked in on Harpy Lost Arts this week, and once again, these listings, they continue to shrink down way more than I really feel like we should be seeing on these listings just vanishing. Now, what continues to happen here is, it's pretty obvious at this point, people. There really is a demand for Lost Arts in the Harpy department. Now, no matter if you're like, well, you know, these Lost Arts are garbage. Okay, that's cool. You can have that opinion. But the problem is this is not stopping people from coming through here and wanting to pick these up for Harpies. And this now flips to the next question of, you know, we've not had any successful Harpy decks in a very long time. We did get that new wind support card, the Dragon, that basically was support for every wind deck across the board, which was fantastic, by the way. I am not going to be the first one to tell you that that card seems really, really cool for what it is. But at the flip side, you know, if more people are picking up, you know, Harpy cards in tandem for this new card, and that believes that somebody believes that there is a cognitive Harpy deck out there. We have there's no way that we will be getting any Harpy support anytime soon, I wouldn't think. So unless, you know, they do something in a Maze set upcoming later this year, but they've been doing sub-characters for the last couple years. I would love to see, you know, more Siegfried Valkyrie support, but for the time being, Harpy Lost Arts still continuing to not exist in very large quantities, and there's still a lot of demand for these cards. Also, look at the sales on Elegant Egotist. It's kind of interesting. We have to talk about Artmage. So Artmage got their generic, you know, broken alternative fusion subber card, and it's kind of flipped the question of, do I need to go pick up Artmage cards? Now, first of all, Genesis format has already got Artmage kind of looking around and getting people talking about this. This has been nothing short of, you know, something new. But the point is, though, you make a new generic card for Artmage and suddenly, you know, people have an interest in the deck. It doesn't take a genius to know that Konami wasn't going to make something for these archetypes. And I mean, I still have my same thoughts for Doom Z. Also, your DLC for this video for Doom Z. If you've been not paying attention to the quantities and movements on Doom Z, I do recommend that you kind of go do that. Go take a look at Drastius and some of the shifts across the board in the secret rares, because they move in decent numbers. And I obviously Doom Dimensions is being open right now because the product is so cheap and people are willing to spend, you know, money to pick up this product because things are so cheap. But it's interesting and very telling of what's going on here in the system with this. So should you pick up Artmage? I don't know how much cheaper it's going to be. Obviously, I mean, you should see some 10 reprints next year, but, you know, you're rolling up into November here. You know, your question is do I think that I want to play Genesis format with Artmage? I mean, you will get that new fusion next year, and it will be Genesis format legal. So that's something to kind of think about here if you're flipping the coin, bouncing back and forth on the format or not. So now we got to talk about Twin Twisters Ultimate Rares. I'm going to clap for Genesis format, man. Genesis format, like Edison, you guys know how like Edison was like revitalizing and making old, stupid, expensive Ultimate Rares from literally nothing into like $400 to $500 explosive cards. Well, Twin Twisters is one of those cards that kind of got scooped up in the madness of Genesis format coming out, because a lot of people are like, well, this is a 2 for 2. You know, we're able to spot removal any sort of these problematic cards. But there's also the fact that Twin Twisters does have a tie back to some older formats as well. I mean, I can't entirely point the finger at Genesis format for the ultimate rare, gaining momentum, but we can certainly be aware of why certain things are tipping up at the rate that we are seeing these cards shifting around. This goes for things like Fiendish Chain as well. I would keep a little bit of an eye on that one. I haven't actually checked on Fiendish Chain. I have seen a lot of the casual Genesis format list tend to like looking at that card. I don't know what it is about Fiendish Chain, but people are like, hey, this is definitely a card that you can slam down on the table and use as a negate until you get into the Mystical Space Typhoon matchup, and then they have an MST for every sort of backer you have. It kind of ends up being very bad, but generically across the board, you're going to have to keep an eye on a lot of these niche old ultimate rares, because you never know what's going to explode up in value, right? It's been a pretty big problem, I feel like, for a little while. Magical Scientist. I made a whole video on this card Saturday talking about, the problems that Genesis format has been having. Evidently, it's a full one card broken machine, but the point of this is the highest rarity is a rare. And to be honest with you, the rare is only like $1 or $2. So if you are, this is the time to go, hey, I'm a collector. I want to pick up one of these. I want to have the opportunity to have a higher rarity Magical Scientist. It is one of those cards that I wouldn't feel too bad about, just adding to the collection. And this goes for a lot of the older niche band cards that you're probably going to look at and go, oh, well, these serve no real purpose. You are absolutely correct. All right. You're going to look at a lot of these band cards and you're going to go, why would I want to pick this up? It's because even in like niche-er situations, I mean, we're still waiting on a point readjustment for Genesis format. I believe at this point we've seen enough ideas in the broken cards department that we will probably see some sort of change and adjustment come down from the top to try to make things a little bit more solvable or doable. I think the word we're looking for is doable, honestly. We just got to get to the point that, things will be a little bit easier to handle. And I'm not hating that, honestly. I think we need, readier and easier accessible band cards, but at the same time we can go back and we could pick up some of the really fun ones and get to enjoy them because they're really cool, man. Especially from a collector standpoint, like, you got to appreciate the history of the game. All right. And then with the advent of the new set coming to Master Duel, like, I got to talk about Novelez. Every single time that something comes down from the top, like we get a new set, for example, I get to go, oh boy, guys, isn't this really cool? And then something in Novelez goes up. I don't know how many times I have got to talk about Novelez exploding up in value, the Hungry Burger deck. And now that it's coming to Master Duel, somebody's going to go, ooh, this is an opportunity to go pick up, Hungry Burger Turbo deck and play it. I mean, this is my warning to you guys. And it's ridiculous to me because the cards in the Novelez deck shouldn't be spiking up at any real point. But for some reason, every couple of months, you're like, oh, cool, something went up. I don't know why, but it did. And Master Duel, we don't get enough time to talk about the driving force of this game, but I tell you guys, it does drive a lot of the really weird sectors in the Yu-Gi-Oh market. Whether or not you choose to acknowledge Master Duel's impact on the secondary market, I think you're going to be very shocked as more and more of these sorts of changes kind of come down from the top, because I just appreciate the fact that people want to play some Novelez, but at the same time, something's gonna go crazy like it usually does. But what do you guys think about this madness today. Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and blah, 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 yada, yada, goodbye. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.